Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, everybody. So for those of you who aren't here at JSN Colloquium, I'm joined this morning by Stacey Daynard, Counsellor and Social Studies Chair of St. Paul's High School in Winnipeg, Canada. And this morning we had the pleasure of listening to Father Greg Boyle, founder of Homeboys Industries, who gave us an amazing, very powerful and emotional, I think, presentation.
Very emotional, yeah.
And he spoke about, the importance of breaking down barriers, of going to the margins, but not going to make a difference, but just going to be present and to be with people and to be one. And that's really God's dream. So Stacey, for those who weren't at Colloquium and who didn't get a chance to see the presentation, could you tell us a bit about what stood out for you, what struck you?
Well, I had heard about him before, but I've never seen Father Boyle speak before. So people said, some people were joking, make sure you have some Kleenex. His stories are very powerful, and they certainly were. His experience with inner city youth gang culture in Los Angeles is very powerful, and he presents it in a very engaging way. But it made me think of an alumnus for St. Paul's, a gentleman named Mitch Bourbonnais, who's doing very similar work in our community. Okay. And so it really reinforced to me the idea that some of the consistent themes that exist for all of our schools in all of the various communities, that we're all called to be present, as Father Boyle talked about yesterday, but also that the problems, issues, concerns are universal. Mm-hmm. Reaching out to people who are in the margins, and how can we better interact and create relationships with them. And I see that in our community. I'm sure everybody sees that in their community as well.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I think the importance of building relationships, it's something that's come up in a number of the presentations.
Yes,
and
yeah.
Building community. And is that something that you can relate to at your own school, like you mentioned, in your own community?
Yeah, I mean, every school has service programs, but what more can we do? What other opportunities can we give our students to learn about the lives of everybody in all of our communities, both local and then global as well? How can we, that some issues are not just local, they're national and international. So opportunities for us. I also coach football, so how can I get the football team to engage in the community and learn a bit more in our national setting of Canada? Two things that we spend some time talking about are, we have communities, a lot of Indigenous communities in Canada have either boil water advisories, or they have no access to clean water, which doesn't make sense in our country. How do we inform our students about that? And then how do we get involved and make a difference? And then, I teach a course called Global Issues, and the issues of water around the world, right? Water as a human right, and how do we address those issues? And it's all about engaging and learning and being present, as Father Boyle talked about.
Yeah, and that's definitely something that really stood out to me, is being present and being one, just being together. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to do here at this colloquium, and building communities of hope and justice.
Yeah.
And any other highlights from just being here at the colloquium, like with all of these other teachers and leaders from Jesuit schools around?
Well, I think anytime you have an opportunity to come to a conference, obviously this is a really big one, but you come to, I've been to an athletic directors conference in the past, colleagues have been to counselors conferences, and obviously the leadership seminars. Any chance you can get to network and pool resources. I often joke that, as a coach, I steal ideas as much as I can, right? But I do the same thing as a teacher. I take somebody else's idea, somebody else's work, and then apply it to my own context. And it's such a great networking opportunity here. Where we are situated in the middle of Canada, in the middle of North America, it can be a little bit harder to get to some of these meetings on a regular basis. So when the opportunity comes, it's a great resource. I mean, the name, I think, says a lot. Jesuit Schools Network. It really is a network. The map reinforces it. Your work with the website creates great tools for us to network.
Yeah, and I think we all, as Jesuit schools, we have such huge potential because there are so many of us and we're all working for the same mission.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Very common.
Great. Great, thank you, Stacey.
Thank you.